take a future focus here with the three of you and ask if you would think about what you would like to see in the future. You have a group of students who are finishing our master's program. What kind of advice would you give to them?
Celebrate World Creativity and Innovation Week and pass it on.
Pass it on.
Pass it on. Engage, leverage the opportunity. I'm serious. I've gotten work during World Creativity and Innovation Week by saying, hey, did you know it's World Creativity and Innovation Week? What are you folks going to be doing this year? Do you want a speaker? Sure. I'm serious. I'm serious. Do you need an idea generating session? Right? Is there something that's one of the reasons it was created, is so that it would provide an open door? Please, please, the door's been open. There's an opportunity, and do what you can. Seriously. It's for you.
It's kind of like that thing, it's the get the conversation going. So if you think about when you're in grad school and you go, they just did interviews a little while ago of different companies. Doors open because you come and say, this is the purpose. You know, I want to learn. I'm involved in this creativity program. Can I speak with you about what you're doing in your company? This is another one of those doors where you say, you know, we're all celebrating worldwide creativity, and this is what I can do for you.
Or, what would you like? From a curiosity approach rather than a...
Very good.
It's a style. Good. It's a style.
It is a style thing between us.
It's a PJ thing. You know?
All right. Excellent. Other things, Rhonda. Let's go to you. Good next. What are some of the things you'd like to see in the future, and/or advice for our students?
I think not advice, but just like a note to mention. And I take Torrance' word for it, and he said, of course, don't be afraid to fall in love with something and pursue it with intensity, with real intensity, because I believe the passion is what will get you wherever you want. I don't recall a dream I had in my childhood that I didn't get in my adulthood, and I know that some that I didn't get that I will get. I'm absolutely positive of that, because I am very intense with something that I really like, and I can block away those negative naysayers. I can easily block that and say, okay, I will take your advice or whatever you're afraid of, and I'll take it into consideration, but I will still go and do it. And it has put me into a lot of trouble, Even in graduate school, but it's all worked out great.
I did. Because it worked out, I mean, because what it did is it really deepened your learning and pushed us to really think about how things might be done.
Even before I even started, one of the first things I told Cindy, I want to finish in 1 year. And she goes, this is not possible. Nobody has done it before. 18 months would be your normal thing, and pushing it. So I told her, okay, 18 months, okay, and I finished it in 1 year. So I took her advice.
Took me 20.
It took you there. So I took her advice, I accepted what she was telling me, what she was worried about, and I put it into consideration. But I still wanted that in 1 year. So, so in order to do that, you have to know what you're passionate about. You have to know what really drives you. Good.
I have another one.
Okay.
Folks, I want you to invent something that makes my life easier.
There you go.
Me too.
I really do. Realizing that I've been a creativity specialist forever, right? 20 years plus. And recognizing where it is that I am, and I'm the old school, right? I'm the one who talks about having one foot in one gondola and one foot in another gondola. And, and one is and it's hurtful, it's painful. But I would really like you, knowing what it is that you know now, which is a whole lot fresher than what it is that I've got. Do you know what I mean? I want you to invent something that makes my life as a creativity specialist a whole lot easier. And then I'll buy it from you. And so will many other people. Right?
That's a good one.
They're all shaking their heads out there, just in case the audience wanted to know.
Yeah,
okay, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sebastian?
Well, what I would like to see in the future is a lot more recognition, if you will, about creativity within the organization or the business domain, which sometimes is talked about, but I think That's all it is. So I would like to see that really embedded within organizational life and community life for that matter. And the way I suggest that people that are studying creativity get into this is by getting into doing projects not individually, but I would suggest they do it as teams, into real life projects, reaching to organizations. And now is an excellent time because everybody is concerned about what's going on in the organization. So it's very likely they could take that on. And go there, do a project, find out what the challenge is. Don't go with premeditated kind of solutions, but follow the creative problem solving, and make it a huge, big case study. And that actually is going to be experience already for you in your curriculum or your resume about some contribution you had through creativity in a particular organization.
Excellent.
I have more.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, in the
We've got a few
future,
minutes.
what I would like is that when the word creativity is mentioned, that people don't get tight in their stomach. I would like that very, very much.
And I know you've even talked about that you don't shy away from the word creativity. That you will
You use it
use it.
appropriately, not inappropriately. Yes. Well, and I don't know, because there's such a huge archetype about creativity that I'm even wondering if mentioning creativity really provides a service or provides more of a disservice. Because the archetypes about creativity, and I got to tell you, I'm out there. I'm in the trenches. And people still believe it's their fourth grade art project. So I would like it for people to think beyond that. I see a vision of mothers with their children in the prams, right, pointing out, saying, and that's creative, and that's creative, and that's creative, and that's creative. And you can do something creative, and how you do it is let's take two things and make it something new. I would like to see education based on curiosity. I would like to see, all of that stuff, where it isn't seen as something special, but it's seen as something that's normal. Right?
And if I can add, it helps a lot if you find people, what Sebastian was saying, collaboration. If you find people who don't agree with you, that's a way that you can find something completely new. Because if everyone agrees with you, then you come up with something. It's okay. It's a new. It's an advanced way of looking at your same problem or same root. But if you find someone who's looking at it from completely different point of view and bringing that focus into mind, then you go, I never thought of that.
But you know what I'm thinking now? What comes after collaboration? What comes after collaboration? Because this is the age of Aquarius, right? And what we're doing is collaborating. We're collaborating online. We're networked like up the yin-yang. Our identities are being not lost, but we're being tracked and traced wherever it is that we go. And this is all about, it is collaboration in a sense, right? We're part of the net. But what comes after that?
I would say creative action.
And what do you mean by that, Sebastian?
By producing something that it hasn't been produced or done before, something that is new and that is useful, to use our definition of creativity that I've learned at Buffalo. Something that is new and that is useful. But it has to have this element of novelty. And again, I know I keep hammering that collaboration thing, but to me is the key. Collaborate in different ways that we haven't done so far. And I think it's challenging because most of the people I see in business do not know how to do it. They're very good at fighting, they're very good at defending, they're very good at being defensive, but they do not know how to, as the previous speaker was saying, listen to a different idea that is different than mine and accept it.
Yeah.
People feel threatened. In a business environment, people feel threatened. They feel they have to fight and be competitive. And to turn this around is something that I think very much for creative professionals is there to explore.
Well, and I'm wondering how much of what you're talking about is generational. Like I'm wondering when the current 30-year-olds are sitting in the chief executive's offices, looking at the environment in which they're brought up and in terms of the networking and so on, and the being connected at all times and doing online collaboration and being familiar with that as a regular behavior. if that will still be the case. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're right that you're probably talking a bit about the differences between Gen X and Y. And I think you're right. I mean, you see now that virtual teams by default need to collaborate in different ways. I think you're right. It's probably the case that it'll be easier for younger generations than yours and mine to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I mean, at the end of the day, however, you were talking about CEOs earlier. We have a lot of CEOs of the old school
Yes.
in key organizations.
Well, eventually they'll die off. You know that.
Absolutely.
Or get fired.
Well, no, and world conditions are making it such that the role that they play now is already archaic.
Yeah.
It's already archaic. So it's
Yeah.
helping to move that along to allow the new and fresh blood and fresh ideas in.
Yes.
Rhonda, a little bit, and then we'll have to close down for the.
So I want to build on Sebastian's note of what's going to go after being collaborative. If you go back a little in history and you go into the Enlightenment years, you know, at the time knowledge was monopolized by the church. You know, only they know how to read, only they know how to give the knowledge, and then suddenly people opened up. They went to school. They learned more about it. They learned more about the different texts, you know, and it led us to the industrial age. Mm-hmm. And so right now we are in that same. If you think of it, universities are still for elite, you know, for those who can afford it. And then now we're opening up on the internet. Everything is open education. You can find absolutely anything you want to learn on the internet from all over, and that's going to a new age. And we don't have a name yet, but that's exactly where we are. If you think about it, we are revolutionizing like a new era. So keep that. We're pioneers.
Can I just say just something before we close up? And sure. I don't want to forget this, but here's a challenge for someone who wants to take it. But I think that the president you got at the moment, Obama, and I'm sorry I'm going back to this, but I think that look what he's doing with the car industry. He's really changing the paradigm. He's talking about building those new cars for the future. He's really turning things around. So get this guy involved. Get him involved in some projects of creativity.
World Creativity and Innovation Week. Yes.
Well, there you are. For example, you know, he would be a great ambassador, I think. And I know he's not going to take a phone call to do it, but come up with creative ways to get the President of the United States to espouse that concept of creativity, and how would that take place? I mean, there you are. There is a challenge for you to take it.
That's a challenge. On that, we will close.